What's going on, everybody? It's Tas here. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down NIO stock and two other stocks that I'm looking at right now in the stock market. And I also want to break down SPY and QQQ to see what's been going on so far today in the markets. And we're just going to talk about my thoughts as well. So sit back, relax, take a sip of your coffee, go down below, get 2 free stocks from Webull and $30 free from M1 Finance. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. So as of now, it's 1:15 p.m. here on the East Coast. A lot of the trading day is done, but we still have about 2.5 hours left. And you guys know, power hour from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., that is oftentimes the craziest time period in the stock market. Well, a lot of the time it's the first 30 minutes to an hour and then power hour, the last hour. So a lot of things could still happen, but as of now, SPY is down 0.15% and we see QQQ is down 0.3%. And I'm noticing some very similar things here between QQQ and SPY, but first, I want to show you all SPY. You can see we failed. Well, we did break out. That was a good sign pre-market. We got to about 422.75, but we failed holding 421 as support. That's what we mentioned in the earlier morning video on Patreon today, and you guys can see we dumped all the way down to where we are right now at about 419. So it's not the end of the world that we failed holding 421, because you guys can see we're still holding a higher low right now at about 419.50, 420. That is a good sign. But one thing that I'd be worried about is if SPY were to break under, let's say, 418, 417, also the 180 SMA here on the hourly chart. If that were to happen, then maybe some bears will come in. Maybe we do see a bit of selling pressure. But as of now, the uptrend's continuing, and I want to see if we actually rebound into the close. I feel like that could happen. It's definitely a possibility here, although on the intraday chart, you guys can see we're still downtrending. In fact, we just hit a low on the day today, so I want to see if we rebound. And for us to rebound, we're going to have to break back above 419.50, 420 here and start to push up, obviously, towards 421. And if that happens, and especially if we break above 421 and close above 421, that is going to be very bullish. Again, especially if we close above 421 at market close today. And I'm not sure if that's going to happen. If so, that would be fantastic, for the bulls at least. The bears, not so much. And we're going to be watching it. So that is some thoughts quickly here on SPY. QQQ is very similar. We're noticing it failed at 335, 336 this morning. We're still failing at that resistance that we've been struggling at for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trading days here. But one thing I'm noticing is we sold off and we're actually rebounding. We're rebounding and we're holding the 180 SMA on the hourly chart here at a higher low. That is a very good sign that the uptrend here wants to continue, and we want to fill the gap back up to about 335. Maybe see this rally into the close. That is what I'm seeing setting up here on QQQ. Now we just need to see if it happens, right? And we'll see if it happens with time, right? With time, we'll get the answers to our questions. And we'll see, guys. There's about an hour and a half, well, more like 2.5 hours left in the session today. And I want to see on the intraday chart, do we rally into close? Do we break out of 333.50? I'd say if we break 333.50, which was resistance multiple times throughout the day today, that is going to be a sign that we want to fill the gap back to 335 heading into the close. And overall on QQQ, if it breaks 335, 336, that is going to be a very bullish sign, but we obviously haven't done that yet. So we have to wait and see when that happens. And I'd love to know your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you think we break out from here? Do you think we sell off from here? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. And without further ado, let's get into NIO stock, which is one of my investments, and it is crushing it today. NIO's up 8.7%, up over $3. It's hovering under $42 per share right now, and it's doing very well. What else can I say? We broke out of the descending triangle resistance here. We're above the moving averages. We're well above the moving averages on the 4-hour chart here. And we're about to see a golden cross, the 50 SMA crossing above the 180 SMA. You can see that right here on the 4-hour. And we're about to break $42, which I mentioned in the video this morning. If $42 breaks on NIO, 46, 45 is likely the next spot it's going, considering 42's been resistance ever since the end of March, and 46 was resistance in the middle of March, and that's the next gap to fill here. So I wouldn't be surprised if NIO were to get to 46 in the short term. At least that's what the technicals are telling me. And another thing the technicals are telling me, if you guys look on the bottom right here, the RSI is pretty overbought on the 4-hour chart. It's no question. We're sitting at 83 on the RSI right now, so don't be surprised if we pull back a bit, maybe to 39, maybe not even 39, maybe down to about 41, $40.50. We pull back a bit, get that RSI down a bit before we end up trucking back up through 42 to 46. That is what I think could happen here in the short term with NIO. And we got news, and let's talk a little bit about some numbers here. We got news that they delivered 6,711 vehicles in May, and that is down from the 7,100 they delivered in April. And you guys know there's a big chip that's a tongue twister, guys. There's a big chip shortage right now, okay? And that's affected chip companies and a lot of electric vehicle companies, whether it's NIO, Tesla, the list goes on. And NIO got hit very hard because of this, and they actually blamed the semiconductor shortage for the decline, which makes sense, but they also said, quote unquote, the company will be able to accelerate the deliveries in June to make up for the delays in May. A lack of microchips have constrained automotive production around the globe for months. So that's a good sign. And I was also reading that this is expected to ease and get back to normal in June, the chip shortage. So that is some very good news. And NIO, although they're struggling a bit like a lot of companies are right now, they left their forecast for the second quarter deliveries unchanged at 21,000 to 22,000 vehicles. That is a very good sign. Let's say, for example, if they were to lower that guidance on the deliveries for Q2, that would not be good for the stock, at least in the short term, right? Long term, at the end of the day, it wouldn't matter much, but in the short term, I bet you the stock would have sold off on that news. But with them remaining the same, the delivery numbers for Q2 projected, that's implying that up to 8,200 vehicles will be delivered this month of June 2021, which would be a monthly record. You heard that right, monthly record. So for June, guys, I'm watching out for 42 to break up to 46 on a technical basis, right? And fundamentally speaking, I want to see if we hit 8,200 vehicles delivered. Do we beat that? Do we come under that? If we beat that, that would be fantastic, right? That would be excellent. And even if it comes a bit short of 8,200, I still think that would be a win for the company. And on top of that, Citigroup upgraded this stock to a buy with a $58 price target. So although we don't buy based on analysts, never, I would never recommend that, guys. We have to see and see what their opinion is, and of course take it with a grain of salt. And if Citigroup's bullish, a lot of these analyst companies are bullish, hey, that is a good sign at the end of the day. So stock number one is NIO. The stock is crushing it, and I'm very bullish. I'm very bullish not only in the long term, but also in the short term, as the chart is showing signs of a reversal. Finally, right, guys? It's been months at this point. So NIO's looking great. The next two stocks, let's bang through these very quickly because this video was mostly about NIO. Let's be honest, guys. But stock number two, which is also breaking out, is Boeing, ticker symbol BA. We're seeing the 50 SMA is slowly slowly but surely peaking above the 180 SMA here. We call this a golden cross. We're also well above the wedge. We're breaking out of the wedge, which is also a very bullish sign. Now we're seeing a move towards 260, 58, 260, right around there, which was the high from back in the beginning towards the middle of April. So I feel like Boeing, although it is a bit overbought like NIO, if it pulls back a bit, this could be a buying opportunity in the overall strength of the breakout and the moving averages, seeing the golden cross and so forth. I feel like this could be a buying opportunity, whether it's at 250, 245, whether we buy the breakout up 260. I feel like this has upside, and the overall target I'm seeing here is initially, yes, 260, followed by 275, 280. So from where we are right now, there's about 5, 7, 8% upside depending on where you get in. And this is for ticker symbol BA, Boeing, and the VIX. Holy crap, guys. Now that I'm looking at the VIX, this is up 10% today. So that's very interesting. We're seeing some volatility in the markets, although a lot of my stocks, as you all can see on the left here based on my watch list, a lot of my stocks today are green. I mean, look up and down here on the left. A lot of them are green. Some red ones include Beyond, Adobe, CL, Pinterest, Netflix, DraftKings. Other than those, a lot of these, all of them are green, right? So that is Boeing. And the third stock, let's finish off this video on a bang, guys, on a strong note, is Upwork, UPWK. I talk a lot about Upwork here on the channel, and it never ceases to amaze me, guys. This stock is moving again. We can see it here. It's up 3.75% today. It is up over the moving averages. It's well out of the downwards channel here, and now we're approaching a big sticking point at about $49.50. That was the high point from back in the end of April, also in the middle of April, also in the beginning towards the middle of March. So I'm thinking if 49 could break and we see some sort of push out of that resistance, we're going to go to $52, $53. That was the high point from the beginning, or more like the middle of April. That was one of the high points. And then followed by $55. I believe that was the high back in the end of February. And yes, like Boeing, like NIO, you could argue Upwork is a bit overbought in the short term, but I really do believe if it pulls back a bit or just explodes out of here, whatever happens, there's upside potential in this in the short term into the mid-50s, low mid-50s. That's where I think we could make some money on this particular stock. So overall, guys, that's it. I don't want to hold you all too long. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. What are your thoughts on the market, NIO, Boeing, Upwork? I'd love to know as always. And if you all enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to turn on that notification bell as well so you all are notified every single time that I do make a video. And feel free to check out my Patreon. If you guys want my real-time buys, my real-time sells, whether it's trades I'm making, options moves I'm making, long-term investments I'm buying and researching, all of those are on Patreon real time. That's linked down below. You also get an exclusive morning update video and more access to me throughout the day on Patreon. You can go to stocksurfest.com/Patreon for that. And you could also get 2 free stocks from Webull, $30 free from M1 Finance, and $10 from Coinbase. All of those are free, literally free money. Link down below. I'll see you all later on. Thanks again for tuning in. As always, keep crushing the markets. Stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.